Okay, if I click on my TV, what will be the starting screen? Will it be an internet screen or will it be the traditional television screen? And that's all about the battle, who's the gatekeeper in the household and who's going to organize the content flow to the consumer. And I think, Richard, you were telling us something about that. Richard, to introduce you briefly, he is CEO of Agora Media, and you will explain to us a little bit what Agora Media is, okay. I hope.
Yeah.
And also, you are the publisher of the app market.
Appmarket.tv, yeah. We've been writing about connected TV, TV apps, transmedia, multi-platform engagement, and social TV for about 2 years now. So we've kind of had a legacy of watching this industry sort of grow and been privileged to write a little bit about it and cover it. We've got about 500 videos on the website and about 1,500 articles. It's all open source market intelligence, so appmarket.tv, feel free to go. There's a lot to learn from there, I think. So.
Okay, and you give us some highlights of your insights today. Thank you very much.
Okay, cheers. Goedemiddag, mijn naam is Richard Kastelein. Ik spreek een beetje Nederlands, but I'm a Canadian living in Groningen, and I work in London. I'm managing director of a company called Agora Media Innovation, which you can see up there. I'm also UK president of the newly formed Connected TV Marketing Association, and I publish Appmarket TV, and I'm also a columnist at the Channel magazine, which is the Association of International Broadcasters, and I usually write rather caustic editorials about what the broadcasters need to do. So what lies in the future of TV? I think there's two ways to really look at this. It's either, some people view it as disruption, which I think really falls into the camp of the broadcasters and the pay TV incumbents, and some look at it as democratization, which means it's opening up. Scarcity is a word that's been familiar in the last 60 years of television. Television is a scarce commodity. Entertainment, audiovisual entertainment has been a scarce commodity. And like the print industry and like the music industry, the television industry is about to change. This is one headline I pulled from Forbes, which I thought was quite interesting recently. When I talk to people about the disruptive side of the industry, usually I'm talking to broadcasters and pay TV people about it, but they came up with a rather phenomenal number, actually, which includes hardware and all kinds of aspects of the whole industry as a whole. Normally, when I talk about disruption and I talk about, okay, what's up for grabs? There's $200 billion globally in TV ad spend. That's 30-second spots in a traditional value chain of brands to agencies, to broadcasters, and out to the consumers. It's a value chain that's been around for a long time, and it's a value chain that's going to be probably disrupted quite rapidly in the next 5 years. The storm is a-coming, and this is why I say it's going to happen faster than we think it is. Schoesberger 2000 reported that it took radio 38 years to reach 50 million listeners. TV took 13 years to reach 50 million. The internet took 4 years. The iPod took 3 years. Facebook added 100 million users in less than 9 months. iPhone applications hit smartphones. It appeared 1 billion in 9 months. And how long will it be before there's 100 million connected TVs in front of 100 million tablets, or 100 million tablets in front of 100 million connected TVs? I think it's going to come quicker than most. I think it'll be about 2013, 2014 on a global level. Here's how we're kind of seeing things play out at Agora Media. Cloud services will make video everywhere a reality. We're currently working on some cloud services. There are playout systems being built in the cloud now, where you can set your EPGs and have an entire, basically, broadcast studio that can push content out to any device, anywhere, at any time. EPG and content discovery will move to the second screen. Originally, when I first got interested in the idea of connected TV, it was 2008 when I saw the first proof of concepts from Orca Interactive and Samsung at IBC. And it was really interesting because I saw the intersection of social and VOD coming and different areas that TV could change. But really, when the tablet came out, that was the game changer. And it's, in our perspective, that the smartphone and the second screen device will be the tool for content discovery and content dissemination. So that's where you're going to find your content, and that's where you're going to share your content, whether through your social networks or otherwise. It kind of actually means that the connected TV itself is going to go back to being kind of dumb, in a way. other than it's a great tool, as it always has been, for watching high-quality entertainment. And there'll just be more stuff on demand, and you'll be able to watch more when you want to watch it and at how you want to watch it. Linear TV will not die. It will become social, participative, and curated. When I say social, when I say participative, there's a company called Ex Machina in Holland here. Jeroen's standing at the back there, I believe. Hi, Jeroen. They're doing some great work in the UK and United States and in Holland, creating second screen experiences in real time, asynchronous experiences that engage, where the viewers can engage with the show as the show is happening. And I think actually, television is going to be like the music industry in a sense. When disruption happened in the music industry, live was very much sort of the anchor and the catalyst where the money was being made for the music, for the record labels and others, the concert promoters. And I think that's going to be similar to what's going to happen in the television industry. There'll always be live. The Super Bowl was, last week or a couple days ago? I mean, that's a global event. It's 1 billion people. It's like the World Cup final. I mean, there's certain things that will always be strong for linear, whoever owns those rights. And that's interesting, whoever owns those rights, because there was a rumor about a month and a half ago that Apple was interested in buying the Premier League rights, perhaps. And there was a rumor that Google was as well. And this is kind of shocking in a way, because that's always been the territory of News Corp, Rupert Murdoch. And, you know, Apple and Google have more than deep enough pockets to actually buy that content if they wanted to. Second screen engagement will drive curated experiences and new monetization models. I'm going to flick to the next screen. A connected world with TV everywhere and new gatekeepers in the living room. That's the way I like to call it. Traditionally, the broadcasters and the pay TV have been the incumbents for the last 60 years, and they have been the gatekeepers. They have created the scarcity. They have created the demand. But when the internet intersects with television, scarcity becomes less. There's going to be more content available. We'll go from hundreds to thousands of different channels, probably in 5 years from now. And there'll be more gatekeepers, whether it's Sony PlayStation, or whether it's a CE manufacturer, or an IPTV set-top box maker, or YouView in the UK, or HBB TV. There's going to be a lot of different options. I want to talk a little bit about disruption in the music industry and in print, because I think it's relative for the broadcast industry and the pay TV industry on how they should look at what happened there and how it's relative to what's happening, could happen to TV. Music discovery rapidly shifted from MTV and radio to the internet, iTunes, and especially social media. This is the music industry. A growing population is consuming music via streaming rather than owning it. Interesting. Live and merchandising are the new oil in the industry. They're not making any money out of selling CDs anymore. I mean, who's buying CDs now? iTunes, perhaps, but that's a different model. Going over to print, which is I've been in both industries in the past 10 years, so I've kind of suffered through two disruptions. Print as well. Earlier I was a journalist, so consumption has rapidly shifted from print newspapers and magazines to the internet, and especially social media. It's very obvious. Creating content via blogs and social media is competing with traditional value chain. Think YouTube. Moving to video and multi-platform to compete with TV, that's what print is having to do, essentially, to reinvent themselves, to go to video. And I kind of have a joke. A lot of my old journalist friends have now gone into PR, and a lot of my old photographer buddies are now doing a lot more weddings because there's 200 million bloggers out there, and everybody owns a digital camera. So the world has changed. It's disrupted print tremendously for those of us that work in it, and across the board. So do you think the TV industry will not be disrupted? Or let's say democratized, depending on how you look at it? Of course it will, and the stakes are huge. The intersection of the web and linear broadcast TV is fundamentally going to change the way TV is found and consumed. For 50 years, nothing has changed. Brands buy TV time via agencies, broadcasters and pay TV incumbents collect billions, content producers create, and there's been no direct route between creatives and their fans in TV. And it's interesting, because when I was at MIPCOM last year, I was talking to some producers about it, and I asked a question to one of them. I said, who do you really think owns the relationship, or who should own the relationship with the viewer? And it was interesting, because content producers feel they should, not the broadcaster or the brand or anybody. They're the ones that create the content. They're the ones that feel like they should own that relationship. And can they? Yes, with connected TV they can. Endemol, you can have an Endemol app. I don't know, I'm just using that as an example. But a content creator can create an application and have a subscription model that charges $1.99 a month. And you can watch, I don't know, Star Trek for the past, going back to episodes or whatever. New content, new things. There's new opportunities in connected TV, particularly for content producers. And all this is about to change, and technology is going to drive it. Consumers want more, and scarcity will die. What does this mean for third-party developers migrating from the web? Interesting. Yay! Wonderful. A lot of philosophies are coming over now. CE manufacturers suddenly have open SDKs and APIs and all this web terminology and web language, and 80% of it's HTML. And there's a great opportunity for mobile developers to make the jump over to connected TV, whether that be straight on the TVs themselves or second screen engagement through the tablet or smartphone. New sources of funding from venture capitalists is looking towards disruption of the TV industry. Let me just say ZBox. If anybody has a chance, go to zbox.com. You can't download the app in Holland, but if you go to the website, you'll experience the same thing. Anthony Rose, former CTO of Casa, the founder of the iPlayer for the BBC, and former CTO of YouView in the UK, had a startup 3 months ago. He sold 10% of it to Sky about 10 days ago for $15 million. That's a valuation of a $150 million company at 3 months, which is phenomenal. They're not the only ones. In the States, Mizo just got $5 million. GetGlue just got $12 million. Both second screen engagement platforms. I just heard 3 days ago that Video Plaza in the UK, which is an advertising platform for connected TV, just got $12 million. There's money being pumped in. This could be another bubble, some say. Because the market is so big, television is huge. There's lots of money around, and the venture capitalists are smelling that. So TV app standards and infrastructure are very similar to Apple and Google frameworks, about 80% HTML. And I fully understand what Roland's saying about fragmentation, and I agree with it. But I have to say there are a couple movements right now that are trying to change that. The CEA, the Connected Consumer Electronics Association, has an office in Silicon Valley that's working on things, which is the collectively all of the manufacturers working together on solutions. Also, there's another project called Webinos, webinos.org, which is out of Brussels. They've got 14 million euro pumped into it. They're looking for a common platform that goes across all TVs, all cars, fridges, I don't know, everything. Don't know where the money's going, but it's an interesting project. What does this mean for independent content producers? This is what I talked about earlier. Changes in the gatekeeper roles of the living room TV, obviously, with more competition by the internet. There's more routes to viewers. New possibilities in forming direct relationships with brands and agencies who are looking for alternatives to the 30-second spot via branded content. New devices such as the iPad provide similar rich viewing experiences to consumers both watching streaming video and second screen applications. So I think it's really interesting that there's I've seen statistics that show that Twitter in the United States absolutely spikes like crazy during commercials at prime time. So what are people doing when they're watching TV during commercials? They're not watching commercials. So that means, in effect, the brands aren't getting their message across as effectively as they used to before people started sitting around with their iPads and their smartphones while they're watching TV. And that's an interesting concept, in a way. The second screen is becoming actually more important to reaching their audience and their consumers and their fans than the prime screen is, in a way. With these interruptions that happen, the second screen becomes very important. And I think that's why we're seeing such huge investment in second screen applications at this time. What does this mean for brands and agencies? Brands are more likely to go directly to consumer with branded content. I was at MIPCOM last year. Red Bull has over 1,000 episodes of content that they're selling at a content show, which is absolutely really interesting. They give it away free to internet websites. As long as they get the data, they're happy with that, and the data's gold. But for television, they're selling it to linear broadcasters as well. They have great stuff. They have all this skiing, all hyper sports, extreme sports. And I think that we're going to see more and more of this. We're going to see more and more brands creating their own content. It's not rocket science anymore. You know, there's kids in their basement that play with Adobe Premiere. The cameras are cheaper. You know, reality TV is you know, it's interesting because it's cheap to produce, and that's why we see broadcasters and production companies producing more of it, because it doesn't cost much. But in retrospect, it's not that complicated to make. It doesn't cost $200 million, you know. The 30-second spot is dead. I already said that. Agencies will have to do more than just toss propaganda at a broadcaster and hedge on unquantifiable data and hedge on unquantifiable data from Nielsen and Barb. Those days are over, folks. You know, with connected TV, we know what people are pressing, what they're watching, what they're moving to, where they came from. You know, I'm scared to think of what kind of information we're getting with facial recognition, but that's another story. Second screen behavior on the rise will acerbate the traditional 30-second spot structure as more people move to multi-platform and engage on second screens during commercials. I mentioned that already. What does this mean for broadcasters and pay TV? Broadcasters currently own the relationship with the brands, and they will need to work to keep that. Broadcasters need to own the second screen, but they are not moving fast enough in order to do so. Their $200 billion in global ad spend is up for grabs. Who wants it? I say this because I've been into ITV, I've been into the BBC, I've been into Channel 4, I've been, you know, Channel 5, I've been to most of the broadcasters, and I've pitched them this stuff for the past year and a half. You guys need to own the second screen TV. I've written about it in the channel. If you don't own it, someone else is going to get it. Whoever owns that is going to win. That's my opinion, of course. I may not be right. But traditionally, these broadcasters are so siloed, and with multi-platform, there's a whole, you know, it's very difficult to get the groups to work together, and there has to be more of that going on, which is one of the main problems that I've found. So currently what's happening? We believe that the new value chain emerging in TV will share much in common with the retail value chain. So we have creators, retailers, distributors, CE devices. It's currently a market that's being played out. Creators, maintaining traditional economics, rights, release windows, exploring new incremental revenue streams, exploring opportunities to go direct to consumer. You see Fremantle, I put in Red Bull. They would fit into that category as creators now. YouTube actually just spent $100 million. They're spending $100 million right now on content. You know, I watched Eric Schmidt up in Edinburgh last year saying, don't worry, we're not going to harm you guys. We're fine. We love all you guys. We're not going into your business. Yes, they are. They're spending $100 million. They're bringing in celebs to do all kinds of stuff, reality TV shows. They're talking about buying rights for different sports. They already own cricket in India. Of course they're going to go in. Red Bull, by the way, has about 60 hours of content uploaded every minute now. Retailers. Broadcasters are being turned into retailers. Broadcasters' traditional revenue streams are threatened. Retailing is becoming an open market. Video on demand will be differentiated on price and brand. So we see Hulu, we see Tesco. Tesco is a huge supermarket chain in the UK that's getting involved in the television sector. They Seesaw, ITV, Samsung, so on. Netflix. We don't have video on demand in Holland yet, really, I believe. I have a connected TV. I live in Groningen. I don't have Netflix, so it's not here yet, but it'll be interesting when it's, you know, 5 or 10 euros a month and you can have as many videos as you want on demand in the inventory. Distributors is next. Analog is being switched off. DTD development, satellite, telecoms, IPTV, and OTT hybrid. And last is CE devices. Multiple connected device brands, smart and connected TV. So here we see Google TV, Roku, and Boxy are now in the UK. We can expect them in Europe soon. They're small little boxes. Roku's like $49. A bit like an Apple box, I suppose. Interestingly enough, in the UK, most of the sales or the traffic that LoveFilm does is on game consoles, not connected TVs, by far. So connected devices, I'm not going to stick on this one because this has already been gone through with other people. Game consoles, Microsoft Xbox, Sony PlayStation, Nintendo Wii, Apple TV, connected TV, Blu-ray, and I included Boxy and Roku in there because they're starting to make a move now, particularly in the States where cable is about $120 a month. So people are, with the economy, they're ditching it. They call it cutting the cord in the US. And they're buying these little boxes, Roku and Apple and Boxy, and you know, they get their shows. And this is this is the mess. This is the absolute chaos that's coming out. That's what I call it. So it's the incumbents and the challengers. The reports, we've seen some reports. I'm not going to go through it. There's a lot of this at App Market TV. 50% of tablet owners view feature-length movies and TV shows on the device. 4 in 5 UK kids watch TV on demand, CBBC iPlayer. Fantastic statistic, I think. Interesting children's TV. Doesn't get talked about much. I don't know if any of you seen children on tablets as well. That's also very interesting, how intuitive it is for them. Almost half of all British using social media while watching TV. 30% of all US households already have their TV connected to the internet, and that's not necessarily with a connected TV. They do all kinds of things to connect them there. The timeline, I'm looking up to 2017 there, global market for IPTV to reach 81 billion. Let's go back to 2015, ads and apps, 8.5 billion. The numbers look great. I mean, they look fantastic. It's a bit of this, lick the finger, but as again, these are all reports from appmarket.tv. I'm going to go a little bit into second screen engagement because I think it's fascinating. I think it's really a game changer. There's certainly crossover in all these different areas that you see here: multi-platform, conversational, personalized, participatory, and real time. And I think the winner, the one who wins the second screen, whether that be an incumbent or a disruptor, will weave a tapestry of all of them. We'll understand how to tell narratives through different devices. We'll understand how to make things very participatory and engaging using, really deep game mechanics. We'll also use something called, there's something that ZBox does that nobody else is doing right now on the second screen, which is really interesting. I'm going to talk about that quickly, even though I'm out of time. ZBox has got, they basically they set up servers to capture all UK broadcast in real time. Now, from these broadcast channels that they're pumping into their servers, they're using advanced ACR, recognition technology, automatic recognition technology using audio and video, and also capturing the closed caption stream. They're taking that, crunching it with algorithms, creating XML, native XML files, which create metadata in real time. So when somebody says something like, I'm going to buy a Lamborghini, that will show up as a meta tag on their second screen. And that provides contextuality. When you're watching the show with your second screen ZBox experience, and you have this flow of what we call Z words, Z tags, coming down, and you click on them, these are being produced in real time from the TV show itself. And then he connects these Z tags to actually to Wikipedia, to things you can buy on Apple, also to Twitter. So he's actually creating context, which is really super important. 70% of tablet owners and 68% of smartphone owners say they use their devices while watching television. And I'm not going to have time for this, but a little bit, £1 million drop, fantastic story in the UK. 100,000 people playing it simultaneously while the show was on, done by a company called Monte Rosa. And of course, our friends here at Ex Machina with a great show called Intuiti, which ran a couple months ago, which the audience, the home viewers were actually the competitors. If you have a chance to Google that or look it up later, it's a very interesting project. And I'm sorry I can't go into it more here. And thank you very much. My name is Richard Kastelein. I'm from Agora Media. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you very much, Richard. Thank you. You mentioned a lot, also some new innovative companies coming up, and there are some huge brand names and huge market caps like Facebook, Twitter, Google, Apple companies some of them didn't even exist 10 years ago. Who do you think is the most powerful company, or is it already there, or will it be there, who will be the friend of the consumer and organizes all this mess? You show the mess.
Well, I think on the second screen, I would watch out for companies like Shazam. Shazam has got 100 million members already, and they were a music identification program, so they've already used audio recognition technology. You walk into a bar, you turn on Shazam, you hear a song, it tells you what song's playing. So they're taking that technology to television. They just got 30 million or 24 million to go towards television. They were the biggest player at the Super Bowl this year. They're ones to watch on the second screen. I think ZBox is one to watch for the meta tagging technology that I talked about.
And is the secret consumer-friendly applications?
Oh, both of them are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
from consumer perspective.
yeah, from a consumer perspective, both of them are fantastic. Who's going to organize the mess? Samsung seems to be doing pretty good on the flat screens. I mean, that TV at CES, I was really happy to see that video because I haven't seen it yet from Roland. And, you know, I mean, I have a Samsung home, so I'm an aficionado of Samsung. I've got the TV, I've got the laptop, I've got the phone, and they all talk to each other. So it's great.
Okay, well, during the break, we can take a look at Samsung and Google with Sony over there and compare them and discuss it amongst each other. Thank you, Richard, very
Okay,
much for
cheers.
your performance.
Thank you.
Thanks.